Hello friends, here in this video we are going to see a problem on isometric projections or isometric views. For that, here we have a question. It is given that figure shows two views of an object. The two views are given like FV, which is front view, and this is top view. Draw its isometric projections. So by looking at the object from the front, it should look in this way, and from the top in this way. So we have to draw the isometric projection. It means we have to convert these 2D diagrams into 3D diagram, which is the 3D figure called as the isometric projection. And for that, we would be requiring the total length, height and width of the object. So here the first thing which we have to do is mention the total length, height and width. Let us see how it would be done. Now in the front view we are going to see the length and height of the object. So if I want the total length, it is clearly visible from the top view as well. The length would be there. So the total length is 100 mm. I'll write it down. Then the total height is 50 mm. And the total width, as I can see from the top view, because in case of top view the height is not visible but the length and width are seen. So length is 100 mm and the width is 60 mm. And now I'll explain the method how it should be drawn in a step-by-step manner. Let us get started. First I'm taking a reference line. Next, taking a point here which is the reference point, and then in case of isometric drawing we have to take 30-degree angle from both the sides because the surfaces are inclined at 30 degree. And measuring 90 degree. Drawing a light vertical line. Next, inclined lines at 30 degree. Similarly from the other side. Now, if we look at the object, in case of isometric projections, we have to take one point as the origin. Origin is that point or the corner over which the complete drawing is resting. And now that origin is given in the front view at this location, and in the top view it is here. So if I take the front view origin, then this origin is the point which is here, and the object will be tilted about the origin. That is, if I take this front view completely from here and tilt it here, then the length will be along this side. So origin will decide whether we are getting length on one side or the width. So here is the length, means this will be 100 mm, and then the height I'll plot it here and width over that. So it means the front view of the object will be from this direction. That I have understood because of the location of origin. If the origin would have been here, then the object would have been tilted on this side and length would have been here. In that case, front view would have been from this side. Now I'll plot the length. Hundred mm. Plotting a light vertical line. Next, here the width is 60 mm, so I'm marking 60 mm over this side. Then the height is 50 mm. So measuring 50 mm. Joining these 2 points. Again measuring the height and connecting these 2 points, projecting the parallel length. Next, for the width, here I am marking the length as 100 mm. Joining these 2 points will give me the width. Now this is the complete block inside which the isometric view will be there, and as I have explained, we have to draw it in a step by step manner. Now how to complete that? First of all, when I look into the front view, the surface is having a semicircle of radius 18. Then here I am having the sloping surface. From the other side it is a plane surface. So we have to move in a step by step manner in this question. And here the first thing which I would be doing is, since I'll divide the length as 60 mm and 40 mm, because 60 mm surface, 60 mm length is 50 mm above, whereas the remaining 40 is 30 mm above. So for that I am dividing the length as 60 and 40, and then projecting vertical line through them, a light line. Here also I am marking over this length 60 mm, joining them. Next, the block which is of 40 mm length is only up to a height of 30 mm. So measuring the 30 mm height, projecting it light. Then through this point I am drawing a parallel line parallel to the width. Next, this width I am going to drop it here directly, and then from this point I'll draw a parallel line. So here I have two blocks. One is having 60 mm length and 50 mm height. Other is having 40 mm length and 30 mm height. As I can see here, I have simplified the drawing. That is, inside these two blocks we are going to draw the surfaces. So here, as I have simplified the drawing, that is divided the blocks into the dimensions which is there into the question, that is 60 length and 50 height, this is the block. Next, 40 length and 30 height, this is another block. Inside these two blocks I have to draw the complete drawing. Now moving in a particular manner, like for example, here there is this semicircle. I'll start from it, having radius 18, so its diameter will be 36 mm. And in case of isometric drawing, I cannot take directly the radius as 18 and draw it onto the surface. For that there is a procedure which has to be followed, and that I am going to explain. First, get the center of the semicircle. It is 30 mm from the origin. So I am measuring 30 mm from the origin. This is the center, and then the semicircle is having a radius of 18, so diameter is 36. Selecting this center point. Next, from the top also I am marking this midpoint and drawing a light vertical line through these points. Now, since it is of diameter 36 mm, from this center I am going to measure 18 mm on one side, 18 mm on other side. Here I get this as 36 mm. Then through this point I am drawing a light vertical line. Similarly from here. Now, as I have taken 18 mm on one side, 18 mm on the other side, similarly from these points as well, I would be measuring 18 mm on one side, 18 mm on the other. That gives me 36 mm. Similarly here, joining these points. Next, taking 18 mm below, joining these two points. So this is the parallelogram, and here I am explaining the method, that is how to draw a semicircle if it is an isometric drawing, because here we cannot take the radius or diameter directly and draw the semicircle because the surfaces are inclined. So that semicircle will also be inclined, and for that the procedure is, after drawing this parallelogram which is having sides equal to the diameter, I would be drawing the longer diagonal here. Next, after joining the longer diagonal, here I have the top midpoint. So this top midpoint will be connected to its opposite bottom corner. So I'm connecting it with the help of light line. Then bottom midpoint to the opposite top corner. So inside this parallelogram, I would be drawing the semicircle, and the method is, semicircle will start from this point and end over here. For that, here I am taking the center, that is where this line is cutting the longer diagonal. This is the one center point. I am taking this point as the center, and corresponding to this radius, I am drawing an arc. Next, I want this arc to reach up to this point. For that, I am selecting the next center point, which is on this side, because if I take the opposite center, like for example, if I take this point as the center, then I would be getting an arc here, which is not required. We want an arc inside this surface. So for that, I am taking this center, measuring this radius, drawing this arc. So this, in this way the semicircle is drawn in case of isometric projections. Next, after completing this, light, I leave it as it is. We are going to make it dark at a later stage. Then this surface, as can be seen from the front, it is inclined, and now I have to get that surface. So for that, if I can see here, this surface and the center line, they are coinciding. So this center line will be projected up. It is being projected here, and on this left hand side it is connected 20 mm above the origin. So I am going to measure 20 mm above the origin and then connecting these two points with the help of light line first. Later I am going to make them dark. Next, that surface which I am getting here is seen in the top view as a rectangle, means here I have to mark the width of these two rectangles. The total width is 60 mm. Middle portion is having a width of 30 mm. So these two small rectangles, they are having width of 15 mm on one side, 15 mm on the other side. It means from here I am going to draw light parallel line parallel to the width. I'll be measuring 15 mm, and at the same time I'm drawing a line parallel in a similar manner. Taking 15 mm from one side, 15 mm from the other side, and now drawing parallel lines. And as we see here, after joining this, taking 15 mm distance from both the sides, the surface which is there behind is a straight horizontal surface. So for that, I am measuring a line parallel to the length. projecting it behind, getting that surface. Similarly, I am keeping this line parallel through this point. I am drawing a light horizontal line, and then I am going to complete these surfaces. For that, here this 15 mm width I have already taken. From that, I am going to draw a parallel line, a light parallel line. Next, joining these 2 points is going to give me the surface as I can see here. And similarly, here also I am projecting a light vertical line. Then the surface is parallel, so I would be connecting them. So now, after completing these surfaces, I leave them as it is. That is, I would be making them dark at a later stage. First, I'll move on to this surface, that is onto the other side of the block. Now, over this side, that is of 40 mm length, here there is a groove. This groove is exactly at the center, having width 20, and the length of the groove is 30 mm, and it is up to a total height of 30. That is, inside this total height, that groove is deep. So first I'll take the center of this with half of 60, that is 30 mm. Next, through this point I am drawing light line, and here the width of the groove, as I've explained, it is 20 mm. So I am taking 10 mm on one side, 10 mm on the other side. So taking 10 mm. Next, drawing parallel lines through them. So I'm drawing a parallel line here and a parallel line onto the other side. Then after that, the groove is having a length of 30 mm. So if I'm measuring 30 mm, it is going into the diagram. So I will leave it only up till here. Next, in isometric drawing, the surfaces should be complete. That is, it should not be left two-dimensional. So for that, I'm drawing a light vertical line through it, this point, and this is also 30 mm deep. So if I'm measuring 30 mm, it is coming into the diagram, so there is no need of bringing this point further back. It is understood that it will be 30 mm deep. Now when I have reached up till here, after that, even for the semicircular portion, since they are complete surfaces, I'm measuring a line parallel to the width. Semicircle is there throughout the width, so projecting a parallel line through it. This is the parallel line, and now I'm going to make it dark step by step. So first I'm making the semicircle dark. Previously, as I've taken this center and the same radius. So completing this semicircle. Next, then I'll draw these surfaces dark, and at the same time I'll be explaining why I'm making a particular line dark. This is the complete width, and since it is an outline, it has to be dark. Next, here this parallel surface. Again a dark line. So this surface is seen. Then Drawing this surface parallel, and even from here. So this surface is seen. Then the two rectangular portion. Next, again there is a dark line from the other side as well. So here the surfaces are there. Next, drawing this groove. Joining these two points. Next, this drawing looks incomplete if we don't have this vertical line, because in case of isometric projections we should see complete surfaces and not only lines. So here I am projecting this vertical line deep, that will indicate that there is a cut here. Next, even for the semicircular portion it looks incomplete without the three dimensions. So here I have already plotted the light line. Now I'll make it dark. So if we see this drawing from the front, in that case our direction is here. This is the x direction where we are observing it as the front view, and when I am looking from the front, this complete surface is visible, as I can see in this 2D diagram. Next, the inclined portion along with this, here this triangle is visible, which is here, and then semicircular groove is throughout. From the front, this groove is not seen, so it is hidden. And when I am looking from the top, the complete surface is in this order. There is dark line in between them, which indicates change of plane. And here with this, we complete the problem.